What is going on, guys? It is Tor, and in today's video we are going to be doing a top 10 underrated characters in the game of Bleach Brave Souls. I know I haven't done a top 10 in a while, and I do apologize. I'm actually really excited to be making this because like I said, it's been a while, but the way we gathered these characters to judge them for the top 10 most underrated, I just went ahead and got the characters that I think have been underrated since they dropped, or characters that maybe were overlooked right like a week after they came out, because most characters will be hyped. Most of them will be hyped no matter what, and then like 2 or 3 days pass by and then nobody's talking about them ever again. So we're just kind of focusing in on those. We're going to be looking at like the past 6 months, so half a year. So yeah, with that said, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. At number 10, we've got ourselves Mila Rose. This one might come to a surprise to some of you guys, but if you look at her, she's actually a really good character. 655 attack, 640 SP, and then on top of that you got recharge time minus 12% for her soul trait, and frenzy and bruiser plus 40%. Of course her stats are a little outdated because of it's been a while since she came out, but those skills really make up for the lack of stats. And frenzy, I don't think a lot of people even know she has frenzy. Someone that I really think was overlooked since she came out, which was with the banner with Apache, Mila Rose, and Sun. Really a character you should try out if you have her. At number 9, we've got ourselves Fullbring Toshiro. This one might be a little weird to some, because you'd think, oh, Toshiro is super hype, what are you talking about? But surprisingly, I feel like this character was kind of overlooked after like a week after he came out, because out of the banner he was not the best. Definitely Broken was the best and the most prominent one out of the three. It was him, Broken, and Ikkaku. And yeah, I feel like even Ikkaku had a little bit more hype than Toshiro, just because he had super high attack, which was basically just a psych because of his soul trait, but we're not talking about that. Toshiro, I think, is really good, underrated. Like I said, he has 630 attack, SP 688, very not very, but I think a little bit more outdated stats than most characters, but his skills are what really makes him amazing. He has frenzy, which doubles his strong attack, so that kind of makes up for the lower SP. He also has 20% strong attack damage as his soul trait, but his special along with all that is amazing because of devastation, which is 40% increased damage, and debilitator because he does freeze on his special, so that will increase the duration of the freeze. Another side note, he does freeze through his normal attacks, strong attacks, and just overall everything he does freezes the enemies. At number 8, we've got ourselves Tag Team Ichigo, and you might be shocked to see Ichigo, but just think about it. When he first came out, he was so overlooked. I feel like he's still really overlooked. No one really cares for him too much. I don't see him used on any PvP teams or anyone in co-op. And the biggest reason was just because the lack of gameplay. I feel like when his gameplay was released, a lot of people were disappointed. But overall, this guy is amazing. Attack of 634, SP of 725, and he also does have 20% strong attack damage increase through his soul trait. But his skills, he has frenzy, which doubles his strong attacks, and then bruiser plus 30%, and then also he does get an increase of range on his normal attack and strong attack. So overall, this character is going to be inflicting damage through both normal and strong attacks, and not only that, he does have killer effect on soul reapers and Arankar, so he's getting that extra 20% damage on most enemies in the game, which is something not others have the luxury of being able to use against the enemies. So really cool thing about this character that I think is super unique, and I think honestly makes him one of the better power characters in the game. At number 7, we've got ourselves Halloween Orihime. We had to include her in here. I know a lot of people really like her, but I also do think she kind of just died off like a week after she came out, similar to Toshiro. And I feel like because of that, I have to include her in here. And looking at her stats, she is an amazing character. She does have 733 SP, which alone is higher than Tag Team Ichigo, which is, Ichigo is the main character in this series of Bleach. So, that says a lot. She also has recharge time minus 12%, so she does get to spam her strong attacks. She does have frenzy on top of all that, so double hits, extra like super high damage because of the SP, and then on top of that she gets to spam her strong attacks because of her soul trait. So super awesome character. Something else that's awesome about her is that not only do you get so since you're able to spam her strong attacks, she does inflict weakening through her normal attack, strong attacks, and special. So an overall like just amazing character. I feel like one of the better more recent seasonal characters that have been released. At number 6, we've got ourselves the new Shinji, the Shinji that came out of like about a month and a half ago. This one I had to include in here as well, just because out of his banner, which was him, Soifon, and who was the other, Ryukin, I feel like he was probably the least hyped out of them all, just because of his stats and skills. But I honestly think they're amazing. I don't know what people were seeing in him. I mean, 619 isn't the highest attack, but 696 SP isn't super low. That I think compares kind of to the manga Byakuya. Of course, Byakuya does have more attack, but the SP is quite similar, and he does have 25% strong attack damage, which is a super great soul trait. And on top of that, he does have frenzy with 20% bruiser, so he's inflicting double the strong attack, and then on top of that his bruiser allows him to have a little bit more damage. He also has long reach and havoc, which increase the range to both his normal and strong attacks, which I really do like about him. At the number 5 slot, we've got ourselves Xyloporo. This is an amazing character. I really praise him a lot just because I do have him. I've had my my first-hand touch on him, so I'm able to give you my full-on thoughts of this character. And the reason he's on this list is because just like his banner alone, I feel like was just kind of overlooked after a week. After the banner came out, it's like things were moving super fast that I think everyone just kind of forgot about him. But looking at his stats, 743 attack is super high. I believe that's top 10 in the game. And what's great about that is that he's also ranged, so he's inflicting that much damage through range. He doesn't have great SP, but he does have defense and focus. He does have a soul trait of normal attack damage plus 25%, which allows him to inflict that much more damage. And then if you look at his skills, he does have a bruiser, which is 40% additional damage. So just damage on top of damage on top of damage. Another thing is he does have debilitator and medic and devastation, which allows him to be an amazing boss killer. He also has an amazing second strong attack. I think one of the best strong attacks in the game, which does heal and allows him to buff the team as well, which is an extra 33% attack, defense, and focus. So I really do praise this guy a lot. I think he's probably the best healer in the game in my opinion, just because he inflicts a lot of damage. He's really powerful, and he's a good team character overall. At number 4, we've got Xyloporo's buddy, Baragon. They're not really buddies, but this character did come out with Xyloporo on the same banner. And like I said with Xyloporo, they were just really overlooked. Everyone kind of forgot about them after a week. Baragon has 729 SP and 627 attack, so pretty high SP. I'm sure that's up there with the highest SP in the game. But he also does have 12% recharge time, which does allow him to spam his strong attacks. He does have frenzy, which is double strong attack hits, and his devastation and debilitator makes him an amazing boss killer as well. His attacks, all of them, do inflict weakening, so that of course is gonna make him that much better. I think he has a really cool third strong attack as well. I think one of the cooler and more effective ones as well, because I think it has like a 3-wave hit. A super cool character, really love him. I wish I had my hands on him. At the number 3 spot, we do have Tag Team Koga, and this one I feel like is going to surprise some, but to the people that are hardcore players and have this player, you will know what I'm talking about. He is probably the best PvP character in this list as well, but he has 687 attack, 663 SP, so a hybrid character with damage reduction minus 20% as his soul trait, which is the highest and probably the best PvP soul trait in the game. On top of that, he does get frenzy and also 30% bruiser. And two things that I really like about this character is that one, his strong attacks, his first one inflicts burn, second weakening, and third weakening, and then his special does also inflict burn. So he inflicts so much status ailment, which is a big time benefit about this character. And the other thing that I really like about him is that he has 2 soul traits because of him being a killer, soul killer effects, because he's a tag team character. He gets Soul Reaper plus 20% damage and Captain plus 40% damage. So he's getting an additional 60% damage on characters like Bankai, Shunsui, and Broken, which, as we all know, Broken is probably one of the most overpowered characters in the game. So amazing character, really love and praise him. Like I said, best PvP character in this list. And with the number 2 slot, we've got ourselves Ganryu. And of course, this is going to surprise a lot of people. And let me explain myself before you start judging. I know that this is like one of the newer characters and more powerful characters in the game, but the reason I'm placing him in this list is just because of the fact that he was super overlooked. People, like everyone when this banner came out, or the Memories of Nobody, everyone was looking at Senna. Everyone wants Senna more than anything, right? And I was one of them. I spent too many orbs to count. So everyone just kind of overlooked Ganryu. No one really cared for him too much. And now that there's a new Ishin, people prefer him over Ganryu. So looking at Ganryu's stats, he has 756 attack with 20% normal attack damage increase. I also forgot that he has awesome stamina, defense, and focus, but 20% normal attack damage with 756 attack alone is awesome. But he also does have Bruiser plus 50% as his skill. So just insane damage coming from skills, soul trait, and his stats alone. He does also have 40% devastation. He has Berserker plus 30%, long reach. He's just an overall tank. And I do really praise him a lot. I don't have him. I wish I did, and I still have time to try to get him. I think I'm gonna have my eyes on him, until that banner ends, which should be in like a couple of days. So I might go for him still. One last thing before I move on is that he also does inflict paralysis through his second and third strong attack. So, like I said, overall, man, he's just damage on top of damage, and just a really cool character overall. And as you probably guessed it, we've got ourselves Heart Ichigo, which is the Memories of Nobody Ichigo. I had to place him in here. I know that, it kind of is silly to place an Ichigo in here because Ichigos are usually always overhyped, but I feel like this one was really overlooked just because, like I said, Senna was in the banner. I feel like it was just something that no one Ichigo was kind of like second fiddle to her, and if you look at his stats and skills, he's just amazing. He has 745 SP, which has to be top 5 in the game. It has to be. Not only that, he has 641 attack, which is actually not bad at all. The damage is there. He does have a soul trait of 14% recharge time, which is, that added 2% it goes a long way. I was lucky enough to get this character, and I do have him with a recharge time build, 14 recharge time, and he has a strong attack at all times, at least 2 strong attacks at all time, which is just awesome. He also does, of course, have Frenzy, so he gets to spam his strong attacks with super high damage, just awesome. And he also has Bruiser plus 30%, so his normal attack is inflicting quite a bit of damage, but it's almost like you don't even get to use his normal attack because of how often you're able to use his strong attacks. I really do praise this character, love him to bits, man. I'm super happy I got him. If you have him, test him out, man. You're gonna like him. He might even be your favorite Ichigo on your team. And with that said, guys, that is the end of the video. I really do thank you if you're watching. I know that I haven't made a top 10 video, like I said, in a while, but I'm looking forward to doing more of these. Let me know in the comments down below what you suggest me to do next. I would love to take anyone's advice on like a top 10 video. I am thinking about doing a remake of the top 10 characters per attribute, so look forward to something like that in the near future. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys can hit the like button on this video, it does mean a lot and it helps me out a lot. But yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys think. Like I said, a different top 10, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.